Good day. Welcome to this lecture on rationales for costing. This is the second of two lectures on the topic of rationales for costing. Lecture overview. This lecture is divided into the following sections: the CGMA cost transformation model and cost classification. The CGMA cost transformation model. The objective of this model is to help businesses achieve and sustain cost competitiveness. The model recommends 6 changes for businesses to undertake. These are: create a cost-conscious culture, understand cost drivers, manage the risks of a cost-conscious culture, sell only profitable products, maximize value from new products, and consider environmental impacts of products. Let us look at each of these recommended changes in turn. Create a cost-conscious culture. The company should strive for cost leadership. This means that the company should aim to be the lowest cost producer in its industry. The employees of the company should be enabled to reduce costs, and all employees should be encouraged to make a contribution towards cost reduction. Technology can play a key role in reducing costs. Understand cost drivers. A cost driver is a variable that causes a cost to be incurred. There is a cause-effect relationship between the driver and the cost. The company should attempt to reduce level of driver usage in order to reduce costs. Manage the risks of a cost-conscious culture. There are certain risks that arise from cost reduction. Extreme cost reductions will negatively impact product quality and customer satisfaction. There should be clear processes in place to manage such risks. Sell only profitable products. Every product must make a positive contribution to overall company profitability. Shared costs must be accurately allocated to products using activity-based costing. Maximize value from new products. Profitability of new products should be assessed before production begins. Product design should be flexible so that the product appeals to a wide range of customer segments. Consider environmental impacts of products. Reparations for damage to the environment will increase costs. Damage to the environment will also result in reputational damage and a loss of sales. Cost classification. Costs can be classified along the following 3 dimensions: behavior, element, and nature. Classification of costs by behavior. Our concern here is how does total cost change in relation to the level of activity. The cost could remain constant for all activity levels. This will be classified as a fixed cost. Alternatively, a cost could remain constant up to a certain point, then rise to a higher constant level. This is classified as a step fixed cost. Cost could also change in direct proportion to the change in activity. For example, if activity increases by 10%, costs will also increase by 10%. This is classified as a variable cost. You could also have a cost where the portion remains constant and the balance changes in direct proportion to a change in activity. This is classified as a semi-variable or a mixed cost. When we are classifying costs by behavior, the question arises as to what happens to unit costs as activity changes. Unit fixed costs decline as activity increases. Variable cost per unit remains constant for all levels of activity. For semi-variable costs, average cost per unit declines as activity increases. Cost classification by element. We can identify the following cost elements. Materials. These are the bought-in components used in the manufacturing process. Labor. These are the costs associated with employing people. Expense. Expense comprises the variety of costs incurred in running a business other than materials and labor. Cost classification by nature. Direct costs. These are costs that can be traced directly to a cost object, also called prime costs. Indirect costs, costs that cannot be traced directly to a cost object, often referred to as overheads. Another way of classifying costs by nature is as follows. Product cost. These are the costs that are incurred only if production takes place. Period costs. These are the costs other than product costs. Many period costs accrue on a time basis.